This is sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash, and this is the Bundesliga. What a weekend last weekend. If you're joining us, welcome on our YouTube channel, Sportsbook Review, Sky Sports, Sports, SBR Sports, and Facebook Live. Sorry, I just completely went mental there because I'm so excited about Bundesliga. We've got Radak and we've got Alex. Welcome, gentlemen. I'll speak to you in a minute, but first of all, if you are watching on Facebook Live, then get yourselves across to our YouTube channel, SBR Sports, and then you can be the third member of the team. I want to have your tips. I want to have your results from last week, because we've already had Jordan who came in and said 7-1 he went. So get yourselves in the chat. I won't reply, but I will put it to the boys and we can share the info. First of all, Alex, what a great weekend to have the Bundesliga back.
Incredible weekend. I watched all the matches. It was pure gold. Some of them were boring, to be honest, but football is back. We are back, and profit is back. We had a great weekend. I went 11-5 with the banker in, so I'm really happy with the results from last week.
Radak, welcome back. We missed you last week, but brilliant to have soccer back. Fitness. Those teams who turned up and wanted it early, they got their rewards.
Yeah, I think we have a strange situation here because we don't have a lot of information about the fitness of each team besides the games we watched last week. And so now the cards are shuffled again, and it's a different situation as we ever had before. And I'm curious how it develops within the next weeks. And but definitely good to watch some soccer again.
Alex,
it looks good. It looks good to have 5 substitutes after such a long period of suspension. Let's say 2 months and a half break. 5 substitutes right now. It's good for every team, and most of them used them in their matches. So that's a good thing, because after the 60th minute, I see a lot of players trying to go for the showers. Trying to hit the showers because they cannot do anymore. They cannot play anymore.
Yeah, number one for me over the weekend was Kevin Voigt of Bremen. I thought he was an absolute joke, and I thought the fitness of the Bremen players was embarrassing. And then you have a look at the organisation of Freiburg. I thought they were outstanding. They got themselves a decent 1-1 draw away at Red Bull. But then I had a big problem with Koln. We said they'd score 2 goals. They did. We said they'd go 2-0 up. They did. But then they either fell in a hole with their fitness, or they took their mind off of the game, and some of it was like under 10 defending, and you can't legislate for that, Radak.
I didn't watch the Cologne game very closely, so I can't tell you anything about it. I think they struggle a lot with the virus, because 3 of their players were involved, and maybe they miss them in the game, and in the whole situation they have to struggle with it. And hopefully there won't be any more cases like this.
Alex, were you surprised with Schalke, the way they came out and it was like a practice match and they were always going to get beat? In fact, I think we was on the phone halfway through the first half and we were like, as soon as Dortmund scored, they're going to do as they please. Alex?
Yeah, yes, sorry, some internet issues here. Dortmund were on fire, that I can tell you. And Schalke were absolutely outclassed in that match. And imagine that Dortmund were without Jadon Sancho, who was on the bench. They were without Marco Reus, Emre Can, Axel Witsel, all injured. But Julian Brandt, I think that he was absolutely stunning, in a superb form. Basically, he was the man of the round in the German Bundesliga last weekend. I think that if he can continues like that, imagine that he's an ex-Leverkusen player. Imagine Leverkusen also with Julian Brandt inside their team. What a team they were right now. They are a superb team to watch. I loved every single minute of that Leverkusen game. But if they had also Julian Brandt, who was with them last year, they were even more good.
Yeah, Michal Todorov said that Mans were excellent second half. They obviously got they got the point after the 2-2 draw, and they could have gone on and won it. I think Koln invited them to come on, to be fair. Now, before we go through into the first game, which is a massive derby in Berlin on Friday night, then subscribe, press the button and ring that bell, because that means that we will notify you and you will never miss any content again. And the way things are going, you definitely don't want to be missing it. So let's crack on. I'm going to start with you, Radak. We're going to go with the Berlin derby. We've got Hertha Berlin at plus 153, the draw at plus 245, and Union Berlin at plus 230.
I must confess I was surprised that Hertha won that clearly against Hoffenheim after their problems they had with the coaches, with Klinsmann left and the interims coach Nuri was thrown out, and now they have Bruno Labbadia, who I must say is very strong when he starts off with a new team in the past, and he also proved that against Hoffenheim, and Hertha won 3-0, and now they surely are favorite in this derby, and they have they want the revenge, because in the last year they lost against Union Berlin 1-0, and I think with this 3-0 win in their back and their home advantage, they at least play in the stadium they know without crowd. But I think that's an advantage for Hertha, because Union Berlin always needs their supporters to make a good impact. They just lost 2-0 against Bayern Munich. That's not a bad result, but at the end I like the good odds on Hertha here very well. I would bet on Hertha, but I would take the Asian handicap with Asian handicap minus 0.25, which is around 1.9, I think, and that is a really good bet, I think, because Hertha here should be the better team.
Alex, the Berlin derby, do we expect goals? And this is where we wanted a crowd. We must have had a crowd for this. Friday night, it would have been absolutely buzzing.
If we had a crowd in this game, I would go as a banker with Hertha Berlin to win the game at 2.5, you know. The odds dropped a little bit. Now you can find only 2.3, so plus 130 for Hertha Berlin to win. Union Berlin very disappointing last week. I think that Hertha should be the play here at 2.3, but I have also over 2.5 goals in the match at 1.95. I think that Hertha Berlin were a little bit lucky last week, because they kept a clean sheet, but they were very, very lucky to keep that clean sheet. So absolutely over 2.5 in this match, because I see also Union Berlin coming for the points here, because despite having no fans in the stadium, it's a derby match, and it's one of the biggest derbies in Germany. So I have three bets basically for this one. The over 2.5 goals at 1.95. Hertha Berlin to win at 2.3. Both teams to score at 1.75. So I'm going strong for the first match. And Bruno Labbadia, we talked about him last week, if you remember. I said to you that he's an experienced coach in Germany. And this is him right now flying high after 3-0 win against Hoffenheim on the road. So absolutely buzzing for this Hertha to win the match.
Yeah, well, Barca man, welcome Barca man. He's gone with Hertha Berlin and both teams to score at 4.4. That's massive price, and it's just combined two of your free bets. I like both teams to score at 1.75. I don't think there's any chance that we see both teams keeping a clean sheet. Now let's move on. Mönchengladbach at plus 140, the draw at plus 280, and Leverkusen plus 190, Alex. Leverkusen, to me, they were really impressive. They came straight out the traps and they got what they deserved.
Yes, really impressive. Kai Havertz with a brace. On the other side, Alassane Plea scored in the 37th second in the match. It's faster than you can say Borussia Mönchengladbach. So those two guys in front with Turan and Plea are absolutely amazing. I love them. But I must give the credit where the credit is at Leverkusen there. They were absolutely amazing. Possession, rhythm, fast players. Diaby did a great job in the right side. Havertz again with the brace. Demirbay, excellent. So I really like this Leverkusen side, and I really think that they are the side to watch, and I hope that they will qualify in the Champions League. So I'm going Leverkusen with Drono bet at 2.07. I'm going Alex Classic at 1.7, both team to score and the over 2.5 goals in the match. And I'm also going second half goals over 1.5 again at 1.7.
That's, you know, you've had 6 selections in 2 games, Alex.
Yes.
I tell you what, if you wrote these down by pen, you'd run out of ink, you know. Radak.
Here.
Hey,
Yeah,
I see.
You missed the betting a lot, Alex. You have to compensate.
Exactly. It's almost like he's been starved for weeks, and then he's gone into a restaurant and they've said, what would you like? And he's like, everything. Just give me everything. Radak, can you follow that? I mean, they were excellent, Leverkusen, the other day. I know that the opposition really threw the towel in, but I've wrote down Leverkusen got what they deserved because of their hunger and their fitness.
Yeah, definitely a point. They finished before the break in a very strong way, and I was kind of curious if they can continue like that, and they did. And so they are in good shape, and I think this would be a very awesome game to watch, despite we have no audience there. But as Alex said, I can agree. Then I think Leverkusen is a little bit better team at the moment or altogether, and that's why I would here support Leverkusen, because their odds are very high here in this game, and with an Asian handicap of 0 or draw no bet with an odd of 2.1 or 2.05 around, depends on your bookie. I think, you get your money back if the game draws, and that's a thing you can always expect in this game, that they cancel each other out and draw at the end. But another point is that you have to expect a lot of goals, but I think the odds are not worth to go for it. And maybe always, if you expect something to be clear, they don't deliver. So I'm very happy with a draw no bet here on Leverkusen, and I will do this as well.
Get off the fence, you two. Leverkusen are plus 190. That is unbelievable. That is great odds. Everyone in the chat, they're like, yes, team total goals. Over 1.5 for Leverkusen. Just Leverkusen win. Listen, I know you've got the bases covered. I think both teams will score, but the team total over 1.5 looks great. But at plus 190, they don't come along every day, and I really like them. Here's one I'm going to absolutely feast upon. And in fact, I've already had a little piece. I did advertise it. Freiburg plus 140. The draw plus 260. And Bremen at plus 220. And after last week, they might as well have been plus 22,000, Alex.
Crazy match this one. I mean, what to expect? Whom to win? Freiburg looked good, as you said, against RB Leipzig. But let's put it this way. I think that RB Leipzig looked bad, not Freiburg looked good, if you ask me. Werder Bremen, horrendous. Leverkusen had sometimes in the match I thought that they have a training session, with Werder Bremen. Playing the Sunday League in England, Sometimes they were just unbelievable. I don't know. I don't know what they are thinking. Like that, they will go down absolutely 100%. But I think that they will change a little bit in this match. I think that they will go for the points. Freiburg are not Leverkusen. Freiburg are not one of the top sides. Yes, they are seventh in the standings, and they are fighting for that Europa League spot. But again, they are not Leverkusen. So I'm expecting goals in this match because I think that Werder Bremen will contribute also on the scoreboard. Over 2.5 goals in the match at 1.72 is my only play, Flash, for this match.
Okay, you take it easy. Now, I thought that Freiburg's organisation was great. Now, it's easy to have organisation when you go 1-0 up early, especially away from home, especially against big hitters. Now, Bremen, they looked out on their feet. And maybe even at half-time. Some of the players were a complete and utter disgrace. And I was calling for the manager, the coach, to be sacked. Because he was letting players play who just weren't interested and, they were not picking up at set pieces. Corners coming in, they had free headers. So for me, Bremen, no. I'm not having Bremen. Radak, no Bremen.
In this game you can't bet on Bremen as well, but I'm interested in your opinion as a former professional player, and what is a situation to play against to be relegated? And as you see, Bremen, there's no spirit, no effort to play against this. And have you ever been in such a situation, and how would you handle this?
Yeah, I have been in this situation, and the way that we sorted it out is we stick together. The one way you do go down, and it's 100% you're going to go down, is when you make a mistake and you look to blame others. I saw Voigt. I'm on Voigt's case because he was like sloppy in his passing. He wasn't tracking. He's the only player I've seen in the last 25 years jockey a player, in other words, like this, as in like just shadow him, from 15 yards away, and then he doesn't attack the ball in his own 6-yard box. The lad heads it in, and he looks around and blames others. So for me, you've got to stick together, and if you don't, you'll go down. I see Bremen disjointed, fragmented, going down.
That free kick from the second goal from Kai Havertz was a disgrace for a football team. You know, that defense was unbelievable bad. Kai Havertz had, I don't know, he stayed there because nobody was around him, you know, and he said, "Good evening," and here is another goal.
No, exactly. And that's the big problem I have, is you need individuals to step up. And the big thing with Bremen is they had an opportunity last week to say, right, let's put everything else aside this season. We know we're 6 or 7 points adrift. Let's hit the ground running. Let's be right. Well, to me, they look like they've been on a bender for the 2 months while other teams have been staying fit, Radek.
That's, the point. If they play like this against Freiburg, there's a no-brainer to bet on Freiburg. But as I learned in the last 20 years in Bundesliga, never trust Freiburg or a team who's overperforming. And that's why I think they made 1 point. They lost 2 points against Leipzig, indeed, because they were close to the winning goal. And on the other hand, they have to beat Bremen. But as I said, I don't trust them, and I always hope Bremen shows another face. But I'm almost given up to believe in that.
Yeah, they're second from bottom for a reason. Listen, I've put my boot so far into Bremen. They are not getting up, I promise you. Now, let's move on to another struggling side, and that's Paderborn. Paderborn, +2 for either draw, +280. Hoffenheim, +114. Radak, the away win looks good.
Yeah, Hoffenheim was very disappointing against Hertha. They lost 3-0, and Paderborn managed to get 1 point. And as I said a lot in this season, Paderborn is not that bad as they are in the standings. I remember good games against Dortmund and against Bayern Munich, and they have to grab some points against weak teams, and Hoffenheim is a weak team at the moment. They are missing 2 very good strikers. I don't know if Belfodil is back, but Kramaric is missing, and he's the go-to guy at Hoffenheim. So I would say Paderborn can grab 1 point or leave 1 point at least at home, and maybe make a win they need so desperately, and I won't bet on this game because it's a lot of speculation. But if you ask me, I won't bet. I won't bet on Hoffenheim. I rather would bet on Paderborn here, but I don't really like the odds that much, and that's why I say it's a no bet for me.
Harry Doherty says both teams to score or over 1.5 team total for Hoffenheim. Do you see Hoffenheim scoring 2, Alex?
Freezy?
Alex, you okay there? Looks like Alex is frozen there, so I'll come back to you then, Radak. You had a week off last week. You must be fresh as a daisy. Let's move on. Wolfsburg, plus 360, draw 300. Hold on. Whoa. Are you back?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't know. The image gets problematic, and I'm losing your sound from time to time.
Okay, so you know what game we're on? You know what game we're on, don't you? We're on Paderborn versus Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim are plus money.
I know.
Radak's not getting involved. Do you see Hoffenheim scoring 2 goals in this game?
No, I'm going for the draw. And you know that I'm not playing draws a lot of time, but this is the correct time to play the draw, in my opinion. Like Radek said, Hoffenheim are missing some of their key players. Also, Kramaric, I don't know if he is still questionable for this match. Belfodil also. Paderborn, to be honest, were very, very lucky to win 1 point from that Dusseldorf match. Dusseldorf with 3 hits, 3 shots hit the woodwork in that match. They were absolutely unlucky not to win. We had them on our betting sheet last week, but I think that this is the correct place. Paderborn are bad. They lost the plot. They are going down. Okay, now they are playing at home. Hoffenheim are the favorites in this one, but I think that 3.75 is not a good odds to take here. If it will not come, it will be on the lost bets. I'm sure that will be on a profit again, because I'm so good at that shit.
Hey, Mitch said that you've just been warming up your barbecue. You've just nipped off to have a look at your barbecue temperature. I think he's got you all wrong, Alex. You're the ultimate pro. Let's move on. Wolfsburg plus 360, draw 300. And Dortmund at minus 129, Alex.
Dortmund looked amazing. And again, I will say, they missed most of their key players. They missed their captain Marco Reus. They missed Axel Witsel, who is one of my favorite midfielders in Europe. They missed Emre Can, who started to play good in the second half of the season, also in Champions League, but also in their domestic league. But on fire again, Holland. Or how you want to pronounce it. I heard different pronunciations for him. Holland. Anyways, the tall guy, let's say Jadon Sancho. So imagine that Dortmund are the only club in Europe with 2 youngsters having double digits goals in a season so far. Jadon Sancho was on the bench. Imagine also that. Guerreiro, very impressive last weekend, but this is a must-win for Dortmund. Why I'm saying that? Because next Tuesday they will host Bayern Munich, in which a match which might decide the title if Bayern wins that one. You know, so I think that this time Lucien Favre will try to use more Jadon Sancho, to give him more minutes, to be absolutely prepared for the match against the Bayern. We don't know. We have no news about Reus, Emre Can, and Axel Witsel right now. But the team looked incredible against Schalke, and I mean, Wolfsburg is a good team, but I think that they might contribute on the goal on the scoreboard. Because they are good going forward. I was really amazed with the Dortmund keeping a clean sheet and playing so good defensively against Schalke. But again, Schalke were not at the top of their level, you know. So I think that again, Dortmund to win 1.73, and second bet of this game over 2.75 goals in the match at 1.78.
Yeah, Harry Dockett has come up with an absolute classic here. He's gone with Dortmund and under 5 goals at plus money. I want that to be confirmed. He's got plus 115 for Dortmund to win and under 5 goals. I mean, Radek, were Dortmund that good last week, or were they flattered because Schalke was so bad?
Yeah, both definitely. They played as good as they could, and as Alex said, they were missing a half of a top team in Europe, maybe, and they also scored 4 goals. But on the other hand, this is a key game for Dortmund. They must win. They have to win here this game. Anyway, but as I don't trust Freiburg, I don't trust Dortmund either. And Wolfsburg is not that bad. They need their best shape, their best day to score and to make a draw against Dortmund or even more. But why I'm not betting on Dortmund is just the price, because I think the odds are too low to bet on Dortmund, because they are away. They are facing Bayern Munich in the next game, and they're playing, with a lot of missing players. That's why I won't underestimate Wolfsburg here, but Dortmund has to win anyway. But as I said, the price is too low.
Yeah, but I thought Dortmund and over 1.5 would be decent, maybe 1.9, maybe 2. So for me, I'm going to probably go with Dortmund and over 1.5. But I'm definitely interested in that Dortmund and under 5 goals. I can't work out how Harry Dockett has got that 2.15. By the way, everyone is buzzing in the chat. Jordan Kane says, draw for me here at plus 300. It's just too big. Yeah, I agree that maybe the draw's there, but I just think that Dortmund need to win because they're going to go and play against Bayern Munich next week. And that's a good chance for me to tell you that next week we're going to have 2 Bundesliga shows. We spoil you. I know you can thank us later. Now, moving on. Bayern minus 600 draw, plus 850. Frankfurt plus 1800, Radak. Find me some value with the Bayern win.
Yeah, ridiculous. As we remember, Frankfurt won the first game 5-1, but that was completely another time and another game when it was the last game of Niko Kovac as coach of Bayern Munich. And in this game, Frankfurt didn't know how they won that high. And Bayern Munich now, for sure, is a clear favorite, but I can't see any value here for Bayern. On the other hand, Frankfurt is weak since weeks, and so I won't touch this game anyway. As we saw last week, Bayern couldn't strike more than twice against Union Berlin, and Frankfurt is almost in the same strength range. So I am not creative enough to see some value on one or the other hand, and that's always a sign not to bet on the game.
Well, Milha's going -3 on the Asian handicap. Mitch is going -2. Ray Pop's going Bayern 3-1, Alex.
I don't know if the match against Union Berlin was a match, or again I'm going to that training session. Also, most of all in the second half part of the game. In the first half, I've seen some situations, some good football, but in the second part of the game, where I was expecting goals, I was expecting at least 2 goals in the second half, because come on, you're Bayern Munich, you should destroy that small team Union Berlin right now. But 2-0. A little bit disappointing. I think that this break wasn't good for Bayern Munich. Hansi Flick, yes, a great coach. Lewandowski, the 5th season in a row with more than 40 goals per season. What a consistent striker he is. He's absolutely amazing. So I was thinking, this is the only game with just a lean. I was tempted to go with it, but 1 hour ago I decided that it's just one lean. Eintracht Frankfurt plus 2.5 on the Asian handicap at 1.8. I don't think that Bayern Munich will go all guns blazing before the match against Dortmund. I think that some of their players will be on the bench. I think that Eintracht will react a little bit after that 3-1 defeat against Gladbach. I don't see them losing with more than 2 goals difference. Let's see if I'm right or not, but this is just a lean at 1.8, so Eintracht plus 2.5 on the Asian handicap.
Juniskov says Bayern win 5-1. A good one in here, though, is Jordan saying that it's going to be 0-0 after 25 minutes and Bayern's first goal to obviously come after 25 minutes.
Nice one.
Minus 120. I mean, Jordan seems to be trying to really pull them out. So it's not just money line, it's not just Asian handicap. We're now having the boys in the chat, or the girls, telling us that there's goals after certain minutes. You keep them coming. You are our third guest, remember. And this is a great opportunity for me to tell you that if you are watching and joined us late on Facebook Live, then come over to our YouTube channel, SBR Sports, because you can then be in the chat, give me your tips, I'll tell the boys, and you might just have a better record than them. I doubt it, but you can try. Okay, let's move on. Schalke sleeping last week at plus 105 at home to Augsburg at plus 190, and the draw is plus 255, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, not only Schalke slept all the 90 minutes, let's say, last week, but come on, this Augsburg side, who, by the way, lost their last 4 matches. Okay, again, I'm saying it's not good to take stats from what it was 2 months and a half before this restart of the league, because the fitness is not at the same level. There are problems, no crowd, many aspects that you have to take in consideration. So stats are just 0 right now. But we can see a little bit how Augsburg played against Wolfsburg, and that goal disallowed at 1-1 in the 67th minute lost them the game, because Wolfsburg scored with Alex last-minute goal, who put it some more profit in our pockets in the 91st minute. But I think that Augsburg were okay. I don't think that they were so bad. So I'm going with both teams to score at 1.75 for this one. I think that both teams are struggling at the back. I think that they are decent going forward and creative. They have some talented players in front. So this is why I'm going both teams to score at 1.75. And if you remember last week, it was the guests who won the round. 5 away wins. Don't forget about that. This is a trend.
No, but we said there'd be plenty of goals. We said there'd be shocks on the card, and there was. And some of the shocks were not even teams actually going and winning games. It was they were getting draws. Radak, I cannot trust Schalke. I think that they're probably 3 or 4 weeks away. They're probably 2 weeks ahead of Bremen, who are probably 6 weeks away from being right.
Yeah, as Alex mentioned, there were a lot of guest wins, but the guest teams now are at home, and so we have a shift now. And I don't trust Schalke as well. The third team I don't trust anybody, by the way. But Schalke, you can't bet on them after they lose a derby against Dortmund. On the other hand, Augsburg was not very lucky within the last games, and nevertheless I would I would support Augsburg with the Asian handicap plus 0.5 more than betting on Schalke here, but there are too many unknown factors here. So Schalke has to bounce back someday, and in a home game now against a not very strong team, I expect a draw here, and I can't say that over goals are coming. So that's why I don't like the bet over 2.5 very much for a very low price. And it's a very unpredictable, I think, and you can have a lot of different results here, and that's why no bet.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Harry Doherty. He's dug deep again. He's gone with Augsburg to win, either half at plus 120. So just listen, they could be losing 2-0, but they get a goal back second half, lose the game 2-1, and you pick up your money. Now let's move on. Mainz plus massive 525, the draw plus 400, and RB Leipzig minus 200. I thought they were like very, very sloppy last week, Radek. They were close to being my trap, and I was going to go with Mainz and the draw.
Another game where the odds are very clear and they're correct like this. Leipzig is the better team, the way better maybe in a constitution before the break. They were very lucky to win against, not to lose against Freiburg last week. And they have to prove that they are still a team who competes for the championship, but I don't think that they are really strong enough to close the gap within the last 6-7 games, I think. And in this game, they surely have to win against Mainz, but the price is not attractive enough to bet on it. And on the other hand, I never won't bet on a weak team against a strong team if the strengths are that clear, but the price is too weak to go on Leipzig. And I must say I like the creative bets of the users, and I don't think out of the box. I always think in who's winning, where's the Asian handicap, and that's my style. But I appreciate different points of view, so I'm very interested in the viewers' opinion here in this game. Maybe Leipzig Asian handicap minus 1.5, but Mainz can always be a surprise at home.
Yeah, you can always teach an old dog new tricks, Radek. Alex did it to me 2 or 3 years ago. I'm starting to come round. It's taken a bit of time. Now, Alex, minus 200 RB Leipzig. Can you find the value? And do you think it was just one of those weekends where they needed it just to break off the cobwebs?
I think that for who watched the match, they missed a lot of sitters. I think that huge opportunity for RB Leipzig. They could have scored at least 2-3 goals more. Yes, they were unlucky, but luck is part of the game. Or in this sense, unluck is part of the game. Being unlucky is part of the game. So Mainz were very lucky. To be honest, with that dreadful Köln's defense. The second goal was, I think that my two-year-old daughter can go on her own between the defensive side of Köln and score a goal. That was just a huge laugh for me, that second goal of Mainz. But I was happy because we had many goals. This is what we want. We want goals. We want fun. We want exciting matches. And I think that Mainz can score against RB Leipzig. So I'm going for the Alex Classic at 1.91. 1.45 RB Leipzig to win. I think it's a little bit low to go. Even at 1.6, at 1.65, I wouldn't dare to touch RB Leipzig right now. I think that they need a couple of matches more in their boots, like we say in football, to have a clear, to be fit, to be at the top of their level, and after that we can start betting on them. But right now, anything is possible. Anyone can score. Why Mainz cannot score against RB Leipzig? I think that Mainz were decent against Köln.
Luffy says, can we share our banker bets? We'll do that. We will do a recap at the end of the show. Also, I'll timestamp in the comments so that you can come back and just press the button on a particular game that you want to cover, and it will be there waiting for you. We've got 80 people in the chat live. Press your thumbs up. Give us a like. Make sure that we come back and we show you all the content. Now, the last game of the day, or last game of the weekend, is Koln. -118, draw +296. Dusseldorf at +330. My banker, Alex, Koln win. Not going to complicate it. That's good enough. I'm going back to the well, Alex.
On. Don't go for it. I'm going against you. It's the trap of the week. Don't follow Flash in this one. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. You are going for the second week in a row with Koln.
Yeah, they should have won last week. They should have won. They were 2-0 up, cruising the game. All of a sudden, they took their foot off the gas. They thought the job was done. The manager didn't, or the coach didn't make substitutions when he should have done. And then they invited Mainz back into the game and invited them to score. And they didn't disappoint. So for me, I think lessons learned, Koln win.
Yeah, Koln win. Again, it's a good take. I'm going with goals again in this one. I think that, again, I will repeat, Dusseldorf were very unlucky not to beat Paderborn last weekend. Missed a lot of opportunities. Koln defense is dreadful. And if Dusseldorf will score, they will score in the second half of the game. Because if you want to follow a good way of betting in Bundesliga after this break, you can go this round more goals in the second half than in the first half. I think that is where the substitutions are happening. The players cannot breathe anymore. So I think that we will see many mistakes in this second round. So bet on it, more goals in the second half than in the first half. Do some 2 free parlays, take 2 free matches, and I think that at least 2 of them you will win. So I'm going again over 2.5 goals in the match at 1.72.
Okay, that means that I might just change my bet. Obviously, I'm going to go Koln win, but I'm also going to go Koln and over 1.5, Radak, to get a little bit more value. I love to squeeze my oranges to get all the juice out.
I hate to bet against you, Flash, but I can not more agree with Alex here that Düsseldorf made a good job last week by their plays. They didn't win, but under their new coach, Uwe Rösler, they, I think, didn't lose a game. And they, I think, 4 games in a row, they didn't lose. So Düsseldorf is quite stepping up, and Cologne is, they are not that good as they are in the standings right now. They... a month ago, they even were last in the standing or really depressed in the relegation struggle. But in this game, I would say it's a classic Radex bet. I would bet on an X here because I think Düsseldorf is even good enough to bet on it with an Asian handicap plus 0.5, which is a draw no or a double chance on Düsseldorf, or a draw no bet on Düsseldorf, because they have the higher odds, so the value is on Düsseldorf in my opinion. And to spice it more up, I would just take the draw here to just make it not very complicated.
At plus 296. Okay, gentlemen, I want to recap. I want to make sure that we go down. Alex, because you've got 3 or 4 bets in like 1 games and things like that, can you just give me the strongest one of that? And obviously, I'd like a banker from you both. So let's start with Hertha Berlin, Union Berlin, the Berlin derby, Alex.
Over 2.5 goals at 1.95, both teams to score 1.75. Hertha Berlin to win at 2.3.
Okay, Radak?
I think I go with the Asian handicap on Leverkusen.
Okay, Mönchengladbach versus Leverkusen, and you're going with Leverkusen. No bet in the Berlin derby for you, Radak?
I would bet on this game Hertha minus 0.25, but not as my banker.
Okay, well, just give me your banker when it comes along. Alex, Mönchengladbach versus Leverkusen.
Leverkusen, draw no bet, 2.07. Alex Classic, both team to score and over 2.5 goals, 1.7. Second half goals over 1.5, 1.7.
Okay, listen, I don't like to stop a man when he's in free flow. Alex, why don't you just give me a recap of the rest of your games, please?
Okay, Freiburg, Werder Bremen over 2.5 goals at 1.72. Paderborn, Hoffenheim, draw at 3.75. Dortmund to win at 1.73, over 2.75 goals in that match against Wolfsburg at 1.78. Eintracht is just a lean, so I will not say it, but is at plus 2.5 for Eintracht. Schalke versus Augsburg, both team to score at 1.75. Mainz versus Leipzig, Alex Classic, both team to score and over 2.5 goals at 1.91. Koln versus Dusseldorf, over 2.5 goals at 1.72. And my banker for this round of fixtures is Dortmund to win at 1.73.
Powerful set. Absolutely powerful, Alex. Radak, if you haven't got one, just say pass. Take me away with Freiburg versus Bremen.
No, I won't bet here.
Okay, and what about Paderborn and Hoffenheim?
No, I only have two bets left. My banker was Leverkusen Asian Handicap 0, or as you call it, draw no bet on Leverkusen with odds of 2.07. And I would go for a draw at Cologne versus Dusseldorf. I'm a little bit a coward here because I miss a lot of information because I didn't follow the whole games last week. But I'm happy with it. So I hope Alex will make the fortune for our community and keep up rocking the show.
Okay, well, I'll give you a little bit of homework because we've got two slates next week. We've got a midweek slate, so obviously we'll be doing Bundesliga on Monday, and then we'll be doing a Bundesliga on Thursday for the weekend action. So make sure you're up to date because we will be doing every single game, Radak. And remember, join us, subscribe, press the button, thumbs up. And if you are on Facebook Live and you want to get involved in the chat, then come across to our YouTube channel, SBR Sports. It gives me... go on, Alex.
Sorry to interrupt you. Someone was asking in the chat about Zweite Bundesliga. We can tell them that Martin Money Green just wrote an article for Bundesliga Zweite, giving free picks. So you can go on our Twitter, and after that you will be redirected to our site sbrpicks.com. Also, he's on fire with the K-League 6-0 in the first 2 weeks. Also, we have baseball in 2 hours with Flash and of course Jason Radovic, one of our best people. Absolutely great knowledge from Jason. I'm really glad I'm really happy of what we are doing with the community here. We are on fire, all of us, all in all the sports. Adam is killing on esports day in and day out. We are great. I really feel honored to be part of such an amazing team with Flash leading as our host.
And you can interrupt me anytime you like. It's a team game. Alex, I've got so much going on that sometimes you need to just share the load, and that's what we do. Just to give you my banker's going to be Cologne, and I'm going to do a parlay, Cologne, Freiburg, Dortmund and Leverkusen. Thanks to everyone in the chat. And we'll see you again next week. Happy hunting. Take care.
Bye.